Good afternoon. Welcome to Turf Moor for the late commentary of Burnley against Crystal Palace from Turf Moor. Let me bring you the two teams quickly. Burnley on change: Nick Pope, Matt Lowton, James Tarkowski, Ben Mee, Charlie Taylor, Johan Berg-Gudmundsson, Josh Brownhill, Ashley Westwood, Dwight McNeil, Chris Wood and Maxwell Cornet start again. For Crystal Palace: Quaita, Ward, Greeley, Henderson, Mitchell. Then it's Luka Milivojevic, Czech Kiote, Kayate and Conor Gallagher. Jordan Ayew, Wells Sahar and Christian Benteke from 4-3-3 for them essentially. Simon Hooper's the referee from Swindon in Wiltshire. Dan Robb Baven is one of the assistants alongside Derek Eaton. Fourth officials Dave Webb and Graham Scott, the referee from Oxfordshire, the VAR referee from Oxfordshire. Davey Webb prepares to get us underway. Palace in the changed shirts. All changed strip of all yellow. Burnley and Clarendon Blues. The players take a knee in the ongoing battle against racism. We'll run through the substitutes for you when we get a break in play. But the players have taken the knee. Palace will get us away. They're attacking the Jimmy McIlroy stand away to my left-hand side. And Burnley, of course, attacking the cricket field end, obviously now known as the Barnfield stand, away to my right. Burnley in their last home game won 3-1 against Brentford. Wood, Lowton and Cornet with the goals that afternoon. And last time out before the international break, they took a point, of course, against Chelsea. So a great performance from them so far. Unbeaten in 3. The last defeat in any competition was against London opposition in Spurs. Here's Ayew now, gets it forward. Knocked away from Ben Mee on the edge of the penalty box. Should be a feisty game, no doubt about that. Will Sahar on one side, Maxwell Cornet on the other. It should be an interesting proposition. 55 seconds gone, 0-0. The ball not forward. That should be Taylor's. He should be favourite to win that against Jordan Ayew's advances, and he does. He gets it down there. Wood tries to flick the ball on the far side. Cornet now battles for it. Can't find Dwight McNeil. Crystal Palace going into it very well at the moment, in a good vein of form, as I say. Unbeaten in 7 matches going into this one. I've drawn 3, admittedly, though, out of their last 5. Won the other 2. But when they won one of those games, one was an impressive win against Manchester City before the international break, winning by 2-0, of course, at the Etihad. But going to Etihad and winning is one thing. Going to Turf Moor and trying to win is another, because it's a tough place for any opposition team to come. At the moment, the way Burnley are playing right now, you wouldn't back against them getting 3 points, especially with Maxwell Cornet, 4 goals in his last 5 games. Should be a proposition. First touch of the afternoon for Nick Pope, and he hoisted away right-footed, high and long, looking towards Wood. It looked as if he was being tugged a bit, but the referee didn't want to know. And, what a lovely charge from Tarkowski. Did really well, but then he's lost the ball, and here's Wilfried Zaha. Now, when he's on the ball, he's a danger, and that's just too far in front of Benteke, who, to be fair, has kept it in over on the far side. Taylor now has got back, and his ball back was well intercepted by Westwood and then hooked away by the Burnley defender looking towards Chris Wood. And it'll be a test where they hit Palace back 4. Very, very inexperienced about coming to Turf Moor, although Guaita will know all about that. But Burnley have won the last 3 against Crystal Palace. Twice 1-0, and the previous time the teams met was back in February when Burnley went to Crystal Palace and won very handsomely, 3-0. But back in those days, it was Roy Hodgson who was in charge. But Patrick Vieira's come in, got rid of the old broom, and has swept the old guard out and brought a fresh broom into Selhurst Park, and it's reaping the rewards, although they did have an early exit in the Carabao Cup earlier on in the season, but it's not affected their league form too much. 10th at the moment with a healthy 15 points. Burnley something like 6 or 7 points behind them on 8 points, but a win could take them possibly out the drop zone. In fact, it will take them 1 point clear of Watford, who, if they lose today, could find themselves in the bottom 3. Watford playing Manchester United at simultaneous times here this afternoon. So we'll just have to wait and see how that potentially goes this afternoon. And I think it will be a cracking game. There's no doubt about it. I think there's a good atmosphere around Turf Moor, although a bit murky, as you would expect. at this time of year. Very cold, I have to say, at Turf Moor. As the ball is hooked in there, hooked away by Burnley. We've had just over 4 minutes, just nearly coming up to nearly 4 minutes gone here at Turf Moor. And Burnley, the Burnley captain, has found a good little niche for himself recently on social media. He's recently joined Twitter as well, and he's been getting rave reviews on Twitter. I don't think he's attracted too many of the keyboard warriors that have been blighting our channel for the last few weeks on YouTube. And of course, as I'll reiterate from Wednesday, please give the commentators a lot of respect on the live feeds if you do that when we're live on the TC Hub or any of our participating channels. Burnley throw on the far side. 0-0 is the score. Just to remind you, we've got Tottenham Leeds tomorrow afternoon. A bit early for win probabilities, but Burnley have got a 36% chance of a win, 30% for draw, Palace 34% for a win for them. As I say, it's a bit early in the piece with less than 5 minutes gone to start thinking about win probabilities at this stage of proceeding. Both teams just feeling each other out and see where the wind takes them as Lawton hits a long ball forward. Wood can't flick it on. And at the moment, Palace, just sticking to their task a little bit. The referee is blown for a free kick there on number 6, Mark Gray. Johan Berg Gudmundsson, the offender. Let's have a look. Well, he went into Gudmundsson. I think he was looking for that a little bit there, the Palace player, but it's a free kick nonetheless. Simon Hooper deciding it was. This is Visont Guaita. And Palace, like many other teams in the Premier League, like to play out from the back. And we hope for a classic game. Of course, I'm a Burnley fan, so I'm hoping for a Burnley victory. But if Palace come here and play to their potential, I don't think there's any shame in that. Cornet doing a little bit of defensive work there. Of course, two Ivory Coast teammates up against each other. Will Sahar at one end and Maxwell Cornet at the other. So that should be an interesting proposition this afternoon at the Turf. Palace have it on the far side. Ball played back to Luka Milivojevic, who's the Crystal Palace captain. The ball out towards the far side. It's Ayew looking for Conor Gallagher. Gallagher's crossed back. Can't find Benteke. Gallagher, of course, played here about a week and a half ago in an under-21 game against the Czech Republic, which England won 3-1, incidentally. But it also got him a place in the England game against San Marino, and he got his first England cap on Monday night. So it's been a whirlwind last 12 days for Conor Gallagher, who's started the season reasonably well. Former West Brom player, of course, on loan from Chelsea. As Palace come scampering forward again. This is Wilfried Zaha. Can't find Mitchell, who's playing at the left wing back today. Tyreek Mitchell, his name is. And Anderson now, the Danish defender, clearing up. Palace now get it towards halfway with Joe Ward. Over to the far side. And still 0-0 here as we go past, as we head towards the 7th minute. And time has shot by here already, here at the Turf. I'll run through the substitutes as soon as we get a throw-in or a lengthy stoppage. Tarkowski's been penalised for a free kick midway inside the half. The boy explained that in, and it's can't tell you who it was. It might have been Will Sahari tripped there, but nevertheless, free kick to Crystal Palace. They tried to take it quickly, but Simon Hooper, the ref, wasn't ready. Simon Hooper from Swindon in Wiltshire is the referee, and Graham Scott, the VAR ref, is from Oxfordshire. So they're not too far between those two. I know the referee's here at the ground, and Graham Scott is some 350 miles away down in London and at Stockley Park doing the VAR today. As the free kick has been taken short from Milivojevic to Conor Gallagher. Now the ball is over on the far side with Jordan Ayew. Back to Gallagher again. Measures across into the penalty area. Maxwell Cornet underneath that one. Got the header in, but it's not away properly. Shot comes in and it's off the post and in. And it's Christian Benteke. Oh, what a start for Crystal Palace. And it was a poor header away, I'm afraid, from Maxwell Cornet. No chance, I'm afraid, for Nick Pope. And Crystal Palace, to the joy of their supporters, have taken the lead at Turf Moor. It's hit the inside of the left-hand post and gone in. It's a disastrous start for the Clarets. Cornet's header just wasn't enough away. The ball was then knocked back in interest. Maybe Pope couldn't see too late. I'm just going to get a better view behind the goal. Cornet's header wasn't the best. Yeah, he sees it really late there. It's gone through Tarkowski's legs, and I think Tarkowski could have made a better effort to try and block that. Yeah, it goes through his legs, and Pope at that stage can't have seen that until very, very late. And he absolutely had no hope of saving it, I'm afraid. And Palace are now on the charge again, and they could be in now for number 2, and they might well be. And the shot came in left-footed from Gallagher, and it should have been 2. And Burnley again all over the place at the back. And Palace, you've got to say, have started this game the better. And Burnley here, just all over the place at the back. They went so lopsided towards the far side. It was unbelievable. And Burnley now have to come from behind, something they've never done too well in the Premier League at doing. And Burnley, who have kept clean sheets in the previous 3 encounters between the sides, well, they've conceded one here within 9 minutes. Not the start we would have wanted. Ball knocked forward. Burnley have just got to get a grip on there. Now looked at clear push. Referee was right on the spot and gives the free kick. And I think he was right. Chris Wood was clearly being pushed there. And Burnley have got something from this now. They've got to try and... Well, look at that. Look, there's a clear push there by Anderson. The Dane there knows what he's doing. That's a free kick. Now, Burnley, if they can hit back straight away, it'll be a testament to their character. Cornet's over this one. McNeil's over this one. Maybe Brownhill, is it? Yeah, Ben Mee. Looks like it's going to be neither Brownhill or Cornet. We know what Maxwell Cornet can do from distance, but I'm fancying it might be, but I've got a funny feeling it's going to be Josh Brownhill with the right foot here. Or will he be the decoy? 10.5 minutes gone. It is Josh Brownhill, but he can't keep the shot down with the right foot, and it goes over the bar. It was just to the left of centre. Maybe it would have been better suited for the left foot of Maxwell Cornet. I think the wrong person was taking the free kick there. Brownhill has not scored a league goal, has scored a goal in the League Cup a few years ago for Millwall, and that didn't look a particularly good. I don't think that was a legal goal kick either. Well, I've never seen that before. Really 2-yard goal kick taken. Surely there's got to be some... I don't like that idea, really. I mean, I'm all for inventive and new ideas, and I like Patrick Vieira as a manager and as a player and all that, but taking a 2-centimetre goal kick, I mean, that should be outlawed, surely. I'm not a fan of that, to be quite honest with you, but never mind. It didn't come to anything. But it's Palace in front. And in fairness to them, and you've got to give them their fair dues, they deserve to be in front. They've had to... I mean, Gallagher's wasted a good chance to make it 2. So it's all in a melting pot here. But here goes Benteke. Saha is there on the edge of the area, and we know what he can do. And that's a good challenge. Now McNeil, the other number 11. Can he get something motoring here for Burnley? He's running down the left-hand side, but he's being tracked there. And that surely looked a foul to me, but the referee didn't see anything wrong with it. I have to say, looked a foul. But the referee said no. Mr. Hooper said no. Play on it is, and Palace in possession. Anderson's got it. Number 6 now is Mark Guerri. Guerri now, back to Anderson. Joe Ward is right near him as well. Wood trying to cause off any potential way out for Anderson there. And then the ball back from halfway, and then it's back into the upper, onto the edge of the Palace penalty area to Vince Gaeta, who's yet to really be tested from a save point of view. But Burnley 0, Crystal Palace 1. Long ball forward now from Palace. The 4-3-3 proving dividends for them at the moment. They do deserve to be in front, but Sean Dyche nearly needs to get the ball by the horns and start telling his side to play, because they don't really look up for it, really, to be perfectly honest. They're letting Palace dictate the play, and they need to be dictating the play at 1-0 down. This is not good enough from Burnley. It's got to be said. 13 minutes gone. Burnley 0, Crystal Palace 1. I think this is the goal again. It was Gallagher's cross. Cornet with a very tame header away. Not back in there by Anderson, who did really well there just to square the ball back. And Benteke, well, he needed a bit of luck, but there was nothing that the goalkeeper could do about it. And here's Ben Mee now for the Clarets, who trail 1-0. Charlie Taylor has it on the far side. Burnley really need to get their head into gear, so to speak, because it's really not been good enough by half today. 13 3/4 minutes gone. They just haven't started well enough. And this is the sort of day that a Burnley side should be getting in Palace's faces on a murky, misty, cold afternoon, rain teeming down as well. This should not be for the faint-hearted on an away trip, but it's so easy at the moment for Crystal Palace. Unfortunately, it's got to be said. And Sean Dyche must be, I don't know what he said to them before the start, but it's not having a good effect, I'm afraid. So we're coming up to a quarter of an hour gone. Delayed commentary on Burnley against Crystal Palace. 1-0 to Palace if you just tuned into our delayed coverage. And it's on the TC Hub, JB Sports, JDAC Football, who's continuing with our feeds to the end of the season. John Kane's channel. John has sadly left us on the commentary hub, but but I can announce that he's still quite happy for his channel to receive commentaries until the end of the season, which is great news for his channel. Storm FM and TC Hub 2, ball out of play for a goal kick. And we're also on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch as well. And our streaming app for the season is Melon app. Check out the website at www.melonapp.com if you can, please, folks. And we will have a player of the match later on, even though it's a delayed commentary. TCO laws dictate that we do a player of the match, and that will be sponsored by Commentary Services, the brains behind, or partly the brains behind the TC Hub, along with Russ Vernon and Mike Arneman. Right, Burnley won. Burnley trailing Crystal Palace by 1-0. Goal scored by Benteke on 8 minutes. That's the difference between the two sides at the moment. Are you following me, folks? On Keyboard Warriors. There's the flick on there by Mitchell from the free kick on the near side. Lilton battling with Mitchell. And the ball ushered back to Pope. Pope kicks long. Another game without a clean sheet for Nick Pope and Burnley. And that is a frustration. Just one clean sheet all season for the Clarets goalkeeper. And he must be fuming right now. Out of this England squad, of course. And it's not been... Burnley just haven't got the defensive strong jaw that they so desperately needed. And it's a game they really could ill afford to lose. But here's Will Saha carrying the ball really well here. You've got to say, I think Wilfried Saha is a terrific, tricky little customer, really, when he gets on the ball. So too is Kouyaté, number 8. But the worry for me today, really, from a Burnley viewpoint, is that Crystal Palace are a very pacey side, a young side that Patrick Vieira's put together. There were quite a number of older players last season when Roy Hodgson was in charge of them. So there's a lot of scope there. But here's Gudmundsson, the right winger. Now, can he make something happen? He's got no one in the box. Cornet's making a good run too. So too is McNeil. And the ball's gone over to the other side now, the left-hand side, and Dwight McNeil's picked the ball up. McNeil's got Taylor in support. Taylor back to McNeil. This is better for Burnley. McNeil looked a foul from behind for me, but Simon Hooper no more than 5 yards away. Didn't see it that way. And, well, he must be watching a different game to what I was watching. Let's put it that way. But Burnley have possession with Charlie Taylor. Taylor now having to go down the blind alley on his own down the left, but he's done okay. He's got the cross in, and in fact, he deflects behind for a corner. So better from Burnley, just a little bit better. And Charlie Taylor and Dwight McNeil making one or two things just happen a little bit and just giving one or two things for Crystal Palace to really think about. Now, these corners from Ashley Westwood will be key now this afternoon. If they're good to get anything out of this game, the set plays are going to be important. And Westwood, we know what he can do. It sends them right in on Vincent Kouyaté. He's been surrounded by 3 Clarets players. And in it goes towards Ben Mee. And it's gone in. Ben Mee with a header. A super header from the captain. A captain's goal for Burnley. And Burnley have bounced back in the best possible way. Burnley won. Crystal Palace won. The skipper has equalised. Westwood's corner in towards the 6-yard box, and in came Burnley, and it hit the left-hand post, and nestled sweetly from a Burnley point of view into the right-hand corner. Burnley has done it for the Clarets. Burnley won, Crystal Palace won. It's game on a turf moor, and Palace could not cope with the physicality of Burnley's defenders, or Burnley's attackers, and Burnley, what a goal from the skipper. It's a big goal from the big captain. Oh, wears his Burnley heart on his sleeve. The longest serving player in the Burnley squad. Burnley with a super header. And with 19 minutes on the clock, it's Burnley 1, Crystal Palace 1. Delayed commentary on the TC Hub. And here's Charlie Taylor down the left-hand side. Now Palace are in a game. Now this is what we wanted to see from Burnley. Maybe that goal just knocked them into shape a little bit. Here's McNeil on the left. McNeil's cross. Gudmundsson trying to back flick. Good save, Guaita. And the ball, I think, stayed in play. It did. And Burnley could have been in front themselves there. And now Palace at the other end, and they're stretching Burnley a little bit now. It's Will Sarah at the other end, crossing there towards the back post. It's into the side netting on the far side, or is it? No, it's not in. It didn't go in. But Wilfried Zaha certainly caused one or two troubles. There's the cross from Zaha towards the back stick, and it was Benteke coming in. And yes, indeed, he hit the side netting. Well, this was the chance before. Gudmundsson with a lovely little ball now that nearly caught out the goalkeeper. And I'm not sure whether that went out of play. Gudmundsson was claiming it did. Hard to tell from the replay, but super safe from Vince Guaita out nevertheless. And this game has really, really blown into life. 2 goals in the opening 20 minutes. I tell you what, it's a contender for one of the top games on Match of the Day tonight. I tell you, if you watch it, if you're going to watch this. Mind you, it's worth a listen before that here on all the TC Hub. Because so far, it's been all action this first 20 minutes. I haven't even run through the substitutes yet. It's been that good. We just need a 2-minute break in play so I can bring you the subs. And now there's a bit of a set too. And Will Zaha, surprise, surprise, getting involved with James Tarkowski. And we know what Will Zaha is like. He caused a lot of trouble at Manchester City the other week before last. And tensions just starting to boil over. And Wilfried Zaha, the great talented player he really is out of order. I think it might have been Josh Brownell, Tarkowski being spoken to by the referee. And surely he wants words with Zaha as well. Let's have a look again. Well, Tarkowski getting there. Zaha there as well. There was nothing in it at all. Tarkowski trying to free himself, and Zaha looking for the trouble. I think Zaha started the trouble, but Tarkowski's going to get booked, and Zaha started the thing. Zaha started it for me, and Tarkowski saying he caused it, and I think he had a case. And if he can't book, if he's got to book Tarkowski, surely he's got to book Wilfried Zaha too. But it was Zaha who started the whole shenanigan for me. And Tarkowski is the man who's got booked. Absolute disgrace. Simon Hooper not making himself the most popular man in Burnley this afternoon. We're coming up to the halfway mark of the first half. In fact, it's a free kick. In fact, I think he's booked both of them. But I think Zaha should have been the only one who was booked because he started the trouble. Anyway, free kick. And in fact, that rules him out now, Tarkowski. That's his 5th booking of the season. That rules him out. So maybe for the next game, it's going to be a chance for Nathan Collins to show his worth. And quite rightly, Zaha should have been booked. And he should have been the only one booked because it was Zaha who was looking for trouble. The great star and the great player that he is, he was looking for trouble. Cornet's been fouled and a free kick to Burnley in a dangerous position. But in my opinion, Wilfried Zaha started the trouble, and he should have been the only one at least booked for that. And that should have been a bookable offence for the foul and Cornet. Well, it's a free kick left of centre. It's about 25, maybe 30 yards from goal. Westwood and McNeil are the 2-man committee. And Burnley have really put the wind up Crystal Palace's backside now, haven't they? Now can they strike another one? Well, what a moment for McNeil or Westwood here. If they could tank in a free kick from 25 yards range, or maybe it's been set up for a floater. It is a floater. Looking towards Tarkowski now. That would have been justice if he'd have gone on the end of that and scored. Would have been one to ram down Will Saha's throat. Here's Charlie Taylor now for Burnley. Burnley have really got Palace on the rack here a little bit now. They've got them wound up a bit, and that could play into Burnley's hands in a way, sort of funny roundabout sort of way. Gallagher playing a hopeful ball. Pope should get there, and he gives it a big tank upfield. And now Burnley have got the bit between their teeth. Now, this is the Burnley that we've wanted to see. That was a little bit slow to get into their stride, but that goal from Benteke is probably a mistake from Palace's point of view, because what it's done, that early goal for Palace, and they deserved it at the time, has sort of roared Burnley into life, and they have absolutely made it hell for Crystal Palace. And Patrick Vieira now asking for calm, but Will Saha should have been, in that flashpoint, in my opinion, should have been the only man booked. Because I think he started the trouble. It was a free kick to Burnley. Saha fouled his man, and he, in my opinion, should have been the only player booked. But it was both players booked, and Simon Hooper has made himself a bit of a hate figure in Burnley for that. But here comes McNeil for Burnley. Got away from his man. A bit fortunate maybe, but never mind. Bowling towards Maxwell Cornet, who goes down, but the referee says no, get up. Cornet reckons it's a penalty. I'd have to see that again. It was a potential penalty, but it was a bit 50-50 for me. Of course, Graham Scott will be checking it down at Stockley Park on VAR, and the ball out to play. Let's have a look on the replay. Let's have a look. Ball played in by McNeil. We did really well. Well, he's pushed him. I think that's a penalty. I honestly think that's a penalty, but, well, unless it was too little of a push, I'm not sure. I don't think Cornet's the sort of guy to make a drama out of a crisis, quite honestly, unlike his Ivory Coast teammate. Anyway, Burnley got a free kick midway inside the Palace half. And Simon Hooper says, come on, let's take it from the right spot, shall we? I would say, though, that potential penalty was probably about 50-50. Maybe the referee decided, in his wisdom, maybe to err on the side of caution. I'm not quite sure. But nevertheless, it is a free kick and to Burnley, midway inside the half. And that was a fair enough decision. Burnley 1, Crystal Palace 1. 26 gone on the TC Hub. JB Sports, JDAT Football, Storm FM, and TC Hub 2. We're also on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. Delayed commentary of this Premier League encounter. Here comes the free kick. Floated in there towards James Tarkowski, who got the header. Free header. It's gone in the left corner. It's gone in the left corner. And it's Chris Ward who's got it. Chris Ward, 2 goals in 3 games. And Burnley have turned it around and lead Crystal Palace by 2 goals to 1. Unbelievable. Brilliant header. Guaita at full stretch to his right-hand side. Couldn't get there. The flag stayed down. He was definitely onside. Tarkowski with the header. And there was no interfering with play. It's a perfectly legitimate legal goal. Full marks to Tarkowski for heading the ball back across the goal. And full marks to Wood. Did everything right. Headed it down. It bounced. And it went like a rocket past Winston Guaita and into the back of the net. And what a wonderful way for Burnley to hit back. They've rattled Crystal Palace from the word. As soon as Palace scored and missed a chance to go 2 up through Conor Gallagher, Burnley sensed they could strike back and strike while the iron is hot. And my word, in the last 15 minutes, have they done that and more? It's Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 1. And now it's Palace now with Conor Gallagher at the other end. Gallagher's cross. Header 1 is wide from Benteke, and really, Burnley were really at 6s and 7s yet again at the back. And maybe in fairness, from 6 yards, you would expect Christian Benteke from that sort of range. Free header, no Burnley player marking him. You would have expected him to have made it 2-2. It's a lovely ball in from Conor Gallagher from the right-hand side, but Benteke should be scoring for me. And it should be 2-2. Really, Burnley did not get set at all in defence. That was poor from Burnley. They got away with it. 28 minutes gone. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 1. The late commentary of this thrilling game here at Turf Moor on the TC Hub. Storm FM. JB Sports, JDAC Football and TCM2. And we're also on Periscope, Twitter and Twitch. Terrific for a start this. I tell you what, if you've paid your money to come into turf today, I think you've been duly rewarded. Here's Lowton now. Long ball forward, looking towards Wood. I think he may have strayed offside anyway, hence why he left the ball. But he applauds the ball forward from Lowton and says, well done, son. That was a good ball, but I just strayed offside. And I think he was probably a millimetre maybe offside anyway. So at least Chris Wood there was honest enough and big enough to admit that he would have been offside. He does have a tendency, Woody, to stray offside a little bit, but it's going to be a long goal kick this time from Crystal Palace. No 2 centimetre stuff from them now. They know they need to fight fire with Burnley, because you know what you're going to get from the Clouds. But as I say, if Burnley go on to win this game, there's going to be an almighty meltdown from Crystal Palace fans on Twitter saying, oh, Burnley are this and Burnley are that. And I've tried to defend Burnley, and I'm a Burnley fan by my own admission. And I have been for so many years, for the year dot. And you have to you've got to try and defend your football club one way or another. But Burnley do play good football, and I think sometimes the Free Street media don't pick up on that. And I've been a huge defender of Sean Dyche's team, but long ball and physicality has always been part of the game from year dot, since football was invented from the year dot. Some of these supporters that opposition Burnley, that criticize Burnley, were not born. They were born after 1992, most of them, so they don't understand the real physicality of the game. Meanwhile, Conor Gallagher has been brought down by Ashley Westwood. We've had half an hour, and it's 2-1 to Burnley. If you just keep trying to keep score here. This is Mitchell now on the near side for Crystal Palace. Back in field to number 8, Kouati, who plays a 1-2 there with Zaha. Zaha trying to get the ball back from Benteke, but the 1-2 broke down for Crystal Palace. Wood showed his strength considerably well, but illegally, says the referee. I didn't think there was anything wrong there. I think Anderson's bought that a little bit off Mr. Hooper, the referee, I have to say. But free kick nevertheless to Crystal Palace. We're coming up to 31 minutes on the TT Hub. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 1. Delayed 90-minute commentary on Burnley against Crystal Palace for you here on the TC Hub. And the flag stays down here. Mitchell is onside. Lowton a bit slow on the uptake. Ball played back behind everybody apart from Ben Mee, who hooks it away to safety. But Palace have possession still about 15 yards inside the Burnley half. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 1. Now, the next job for Sean Dyche's team, if they can't extend the lead to 3-1, which is a possibility they still might, by the way this game is now starting to open up, they've got to try and keep it at 2-1 at least till half-time. But Lowton has been fouled Zaha, and Zaha is having too many words to say. And if he's not careful, Zaha, he's going to be spooked again, and he's going to be sent off. He's completely losing his marbles. I'm not even sure it was a free kick. I mean, let's have a look. Let's see. Not too much in it for me. I think Zaha went down a little bit softly for me, and I think Zaha needs to just shut up and get on with the game. He's a talented player. If he just kept his mouth shut a lot more, then I think he'd get a lot more respect as a footballer for me. He's a terrific, talented footballer. Of course, he went to Manchester United when David Moyes was the manager, and it never worked out for him. And he's been courted by big clubs. Arsenal were interested in him a few years ago, but he's a talented individual. He's a great guy. Crystal Palace through and through, but he just needs to keep his mouth shut. And maybe people might respect him a bit more as the talented player he is, and not for his arguing and trying to get players sent off. I don't like that in a player. Anyway, free kick to Palace. Milivojevic with it right-footed, but sails very high over Nick Pope's crossbar into the Jimmy McIlroy stand, named after the late great former Burnley player. Also got an MBE, of course, and the Freedom of Burnley before his sad death in 2018. One of Burnley's greatest ever players, Jimmy McIlroy. Goal kick now to Crystal Palace. And if Burnley, we don't know the other scores from the other games, but if Burnley were to win and Watford were to get beaten at the same time, as they're playing Manchester United at the same time, then Burnley would be out of the bottom 4 as things stand right now. So real incentive for Burnley really to get 3 crucial points today. And it's been a real gutsy performance, and they've had to battle back from behind. But my word, they've done it well. Groton's cross, not the best, though, but Palace dealt with that okay. It was intended for Chris Wood. Here's Will Saha, who's really got to watch his step and his mouth now. Ball play forward, Tarkowski in there, and it was a fair challenge. Simon Hooper was right on the spot, and there was never a free kick there. I think the Palace players yet again were looking for it. It's Cornet onside. Cornet's got away. Good challenge again. Maxwell Cornet showing his strength well, but just behind Wood. And Palace can get it away there and then hit it off Goodmanson for a throw-in. But there's no doubt about it. When Palace scored and had the chance to go 2 up, at the time they deserved to be in that position. But when Conor Gallagher had this effort saved there by Nick Pope, that was the spur for Burnley to say, right, let's go and wind Palace up a little bit. Let's go and, give it a bit of needle. And they did just that. Ben Mee with an equaliser. That was the best possible way to hit back. And then, obviously, was scoring there. But it's the set pieces that have made... Well, I was saying before the equaliser, Burnley had to... I was just about to say before the corner was taken that Burnley haven't really made the set pieces count. Well, they've made 2 of them count big time so far today. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 1 is the score as we come up towards the last 10.5 minutes plus injury time at the end of been a thoroughly good watch at the end of the first half. Here come Palace now, ball into the area, looking for Walter Benteke. Header away, not once but twice by James Tarkowski. Then Westwood was clearly pushed in the back, but the referee 4 yards away didn't see anything wrong with it. But it was a clear push, and the referee didn't spot it, but it didn't come to much for Crystal Palace as it turned out. Burnley had possession. Long ball looking towards Maxwell Cornet, but the ball looked away now. And Palace have possession with Anderson, who goes back to his goalkeeper, Vince Waitu. Had no chance on either Burnley goals. Superb headers, especially from Ben Mee to equalise. It was a terrific goal from Benteke that got the scoring started. And here's Gallagher standing behind. This could be trouble. It is trouble. It's 2-2. Benteke has scored. And Palace are back in the game. And again, Burnley were caught out defensively. It was a lovely bit of skill, it's got to be said, from Conor Gallagher. He played the ball across to the far side, or the far side of the penalty, right-hand side of the D. And Benteke, who should have scored about 3 or 4 minutes ago when he missed a header from 6 yards, has now equalised. And it's 2-2 here on the TC Hub. Really ranked defending from Burnley. And yet again, no chance for Nick Pope. And Burnley have got themselves into a good position here when Pope maybe should have gone and dived rather than gone with the legs as well. I'd have to say there's a little bit of fault attached there with firstly Ben Mee and then James Tarkowski, and then Nick Pope should have dived for the ball. He gave Benteke half the goal to aim at practically. And Benteke, well, you've got to say he finished it emphatically. Burnley are being paid back again, but it's a super game for the neutral. But it's heart-stopping if you're a Burnley or a Palace fan. 2-2 now it is between both teams. A great game here. Great first half. And here's Goodmanson now. Can Burnley hit back straight away? So Benteke with a brace for Palace. Ben Mee and Chris Wood with a goal apiece for Burnley. 2 apiece. Good first half this. Ball down the line towards Cornet. Left-hand side. Cornet tracks back. Lovely bit of skill there from the Ivorian. Plays it out towards the outside. Oh, Westwood struck it well, but it was well blocked there. Hit it from the edge of the penalty area. And he looked as if it was going in. And then the shot from Lowton tried to replicate a goal. He's tried to score for 2 games. He doesn't score many goals. Scored in the last home game against Brentford. He got in behind some hesitant Bees defending to score the second one. Burnley really swarmed over the Bees that afternoon, winning by 3-1. Although Brentford, in fairness, did not deserve the one. Burnley should have been winning 6-0 at half-time. That's no exaggeration of the truth. Here's Will Saha. He's really... Now then, can we... Oh, Saha trying the shot right-footed, and it's well wide of goal. Well, that's the sort of thing we want to see from Will Saha, really. Instead of all the mouthy, nasty stuff we see from him, I'd like to see more of the skill and the vigour of the player that he is. 4 attempts for Burnley, 8 for Crystal Palace. That's in attempts. On target, 3 apiece, and both of them have scored. And from 2 of those 3 attempts, both teams have scored twice. 38 gone, Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 2. Pope with the kick. And it's headed away, but it's Ben Mee now inside the centre circle on the halfway line. Charlie Taylor has it on the left. Once again, Burnley asleep in defence, and if they can get in at half-time, even on parity, then it will set the second half up nicely there. Free kick to Burnley on the far side. Foul there by, trying to work out who it is, Jordan Ayew it is, who's the guilty party. Oh, can Burnley now get in front here? One win all season. That was against Brentford, of course. They drew terrific. We got a terrific point at Chelsea 2 weeks ago before the international break came about. And we got a late equaliser through Mati Vidre. And in fact, he's one of the substitutes as the ball free kick threaded in. Tarkowski won the header, but it was well wide of the target. Right. It's taken me about 39 minutes, but let me give you the substitutes if needed. Tennessee, Bardsley, Court, Collins, Peters, Vidra, Long, Lennon, and Rodriguez for Burnley. No place in the squad again for Ashley Barnes. For Palace, it's Butland, Tompkins, Olise, Eze, Hughes, Schlupp, a former Premier League winner, incidentally, Nathaniel Klein, Edouard, the signing from Celtic, and Martin Kelly, former Liverpool youngster. Those are the substitutes today for both Burnley and Crystal Palace. Ball forward now from Burnley. And, well, if you are a connoisseur, if you're sort of a neutral and you're a connoisseur of goal scoring, you've been royally treated to this one today. Let me tell you this for free. But from a Burnley fan's point of view, it's annoying because we've conceded 2 sloppy goals, but I've scored 2 trademark set-piece goals. We played some good stuff as well. Been a bit of a mixed bag from Burnley today. But the one thing Burnley won't want to do is concede a third with 5 minutes to half-time. And that's the danger. Saha making his way through, but good challenge there. And the ball out of play for a throw. And to Saha's great credit, did not appeal a penalty at all. Taylor stood to him, through, got the ball. And... yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, I think it went for a corner rather than a throw-in. So Burnley now with a little bit of defending to do here at the turf. 2-2 is the score. If you've just joined the delayed commentary here on TC Hub and JB Sports. Round the corner again from Palace. Crossing from the right, headed back across the goal, and the ball from point-blank range saves the ball, and it's gone in from the back, and it's number 6 there. Gray put Palace back in front. Oh, my days. 3-2 to Palace. And another defensive disaster for Burnley. Ball round the corner, header one. And, well, Gallagher should have scored with the first header. Well, Robert Anderson should have scored with the first header. It was a brilliant save from Nick Pope. But where were Burnley there? And Ben Mee should have done better to keep that out. Really rank defending again from the Clarets. The 2 centre-backs are having nightmares for me. It's a great finish, but Ben Mee should have kept that out. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 3. It's 3 pieces of defensive madness here that's cost Burnley dear here in this first half. From 2-1 up, they were 1 down, then 2-1 up. Now it's 3-2 to Palace. Can't believe what. And Sean Dyche, I don't know what he's. Well, I don't know what he said to the troops defensively, but they've been absolutely pathetic. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 3 now. And for the life of me, I can't get my head around why Burnley are so poor at the back. 1 clean sheet from 12 games. It's just not good enough from a defensive point of view. Matt Lowton now for Burnley. And here's Tarkowski back to Ben Mee. And, well, we've had drama in this first 45 minutes, but Burnley have still got plenty of time left to get back in this. That's a positive figure, I suppose, we can look at. There's goals in Burnley, but they need to tighten up in the second half. 3 in the first half. It's just not at their own patch. This really is not good enough. Ben Mee has been at fault for at least 2 of them. It just hasn't been good enough. And even the skipper has been really poor. I know he scored the goal, and he scored a big goal at that to bring him back into it. But how easy has it been for Palace to score 3 goals in this first half? And he should be there marshalling the troops. That's not been good enough. And Tarkowski's not been good enough either. And the strike force of Wood and Cornet must be wondering, really, what do we have to do to... We're scoring all the goals, but the defenders have really been poor. The back four, and I feel sorry for Nick Pope in a way, because he's had no chance on at least 2 of the 3 goals. The second one, I think he should have saved. But here come Palace again. They don't want to concede a 4th one here, Burnley, because it would be curtains. And here's Swell Saha. They've just got to rough it up a little bit here, Burnley, now. And they've just got to get back to that needle edge, really, that when they were 1 down, just sort of wow up Crystal Palace a little bit and force them, I suppose, into a false sense of security. Last minute of the first half of normal time, an epic 45 minutes if you're a neutral, not if you're a Burnley fan like me. But you've got to say Crystal Palace have taken their chances, and Burnley have gifted them 3 goals in a way. Gallagher now has got him behind again. Not such great Burnley defending again. What are they doing, Burnley? They're just allowing Gallagher and Benteke and Saha the freedom of the 18-yard box. And this is a real annoyance for any Burnley fan watching here. Just not been good enough. Milivojevic to take the corner on the far side for Palace. Gray has just scored. He's looking for his second goal as well. That's towards him as well. And it nearly got in as well. Went straight, thankfully, to the arms of Nick Pope. Jesus Christ. Again, where was the marking there? Wood and Martin all over the place. We're playing 45 minutes. Pope still's got the ball. He needs to be booting it forward for me. We don't know how much longer the 4th official. We do now, 2 minutes. I suppose when you look at the way the game's gone, 2 minutes is probably about right. Free kick to the Clarets. There's clear shove there by Coates. He should be booked for me. He's clearly pushed in there very, very hard. And Simon Hooper should be booking him for me. He should be wanting words with him, but it's a 3 kick for Burnley in any case. We played 30 seconds of the 2. Are we going to see another goal before the break? Well, you never know in this game. Anything can still happen. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 3. Lowton's 3 kick into the penalty towards the penalty area. Ben Mee jumps, comes to McNeil far side. Can he measure a good cross? No. I think he looked for Cornet. It was behind the big men who darted forward from the back. Now Burnley have got to watch out here because Palace are so quick on the counter-attack, especially Will Saha now. And Taylor was quickly to the rescue there as Saha grimaced as Taylor got the ball there on that near side. And Pope kicks long. Looking for Cornet, but he can't be found. Burnley have possession. We're into the second of the 2 minutes. Goodmanson's got it right-hand side. Referee, I think, will allow it to go on. Lowton went down there. Long ball looking for Wood. Headed away by Anderson. Here comes Goodmanson. The ball now is back with Lowton to Goodmanson. Goodmanson trying to work it to Lowton. Infield it goes to Cornet, who can't play the ball back. But then Lowton wins possession, but illegally, says the referee. And Milivojevic now. Milivojevic again, causing trouble. Milivojevic there. I don't know what their problem, and I don't know what Milivojevic's problem is. The referees, absolutely, I don't know what's going on there. No, I don't. There's nothing in that at all. Lowton's trying to win the ball. He's a bit of over-enthusiasm. And the Serb, I think, is 100% out of order there. But the referee now showing us both for half-time to end what's been one of the most remarkable first half of football I've seen for quite some time. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 3. How it's 3-2 to Palace. One cannot get their head around because there goes the whistle right on cue as Guaita kicked the ball away. So, what do we make of that, folks? 45 minutes gone. Palace leading 3-2. And a furious Sean Dyche making his way down to the tunnel. He is fuming. And I think he should be having a big word and a hard word with the back four of Burnley because they've been, to say the least, pathetic. 2 goals from Benteke after 8 and 36. Green scoring after 42. After Burnley had equalised through Ben Mee after 19. And would have put them ahead on 27. So, we're going to take a 15-minute break. We're going to take a short break here at Turf Moor, the TC Hub. with a half-time score of Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 3. We'll take a short break and we'll be with you shortly for the second half. And a warm welcome back to the TC Hub to the late commentary of Burnley against Crystal Palace. Burnley just coming out there. We haven't seen Crystal Palace come out yet. Just run through the two teams because we had a little bit of a late start before the kickoff. We only came on air I only started going about 60, 70 seconds before kickoff. So let me just run for that Burnley team. It's unchanged, I think, from the first half. So Burnley with Nick Pope in goal. Back four, Matt Lowton, James Tarkowski, Ben Mee and Charlie Taylor, who frankly in the first half were pathetic, all over the place and giving Burnley 3 goals. Johan Berg Gudmundsson will play on the right, or is playing on the right, with Josh Brownhill and Ashley Westwood in the middle. And I think they need to have better games as well in the midfield. Dwight McNeil's had a decent game on the left so far. And Chris Wood, who scored one of the goals, Ben Mee got the other one incidentally, and Maxwell Cornet up front. It looks as if Sean Dyche has said what he's wanted to say, and he's had a few choice words at half time. On the bench for the Clarets for the second half, it's Hennessy, Bardsley, Cork, Collins, Peters, Ridgeway, Long, Lennon, and Rodriguez. Crystal Palace has swing stand, 7 unbeaten before today. Guaita in goal, back forward Joel Ward, Mark Guerrero, who scored the 5th goal of the game to put Palace 3-2 up at the break. Anderson and Tyrick Mitchell at the back. Erkan Milivojevic, Chick Coyote, and Gatti and Conor Gallagher in the midfield, and then it's up front Jordan Ayew, Will Saha, who's been booked and should have actually been sent off for shooting his mouth off one time too many in this first half, and Christian Benteke, he's got a brace to his name at the moment. On the bench for Palace, Butland, Tompkins, OSA, Eze, the signing from QPR last season, Will Hughes, who signed from Watford during the summer, but a player that Burnley should have got, really. Schrupp, the former Premier League title winners. Palace now come out for the second half, 3-2 up, but still will be a little bit vulnerable because Burnley will come out fighting in this second half. You can be rest assured of that. Will Saha, as I say, and Christian Benteke. On the bench, it's Butland, Tompkins, Eze, Hughes, Shep Klein, Edouard, the man from Celtic, and Kelly. Referee Simon Hooper. In 12 previous games, I didn't have time to read out this stat. Head-to-head, Burnley have got the edge before today with 6 wins from 12 games. Palace have won 5, and there's only been 1 draw between the two sides in Premier League history. And Burnley have won their last 3, of course, twice at Selhurst and once here at Turf Moor last season. In fact, that was their first win. So Burnley playing with a 4-4-2 formation will get us restarted. They're going to attack the Jimmy McElroy end, the Jimmy Mack end in the second half, and they're going to be attacked. That will be away to my left-hand side in claret and blue. Palace all in yellow, and they're going to attack the cricket field or the Barnfield stand away to my right-hand side, where there's about 2,000 Crystal Palace supporters situated towards the left of that stand. And away we go. Then Burnley, of course, as I say, in claret and blue. And the ball up towards Cornet early on and offside against the Ivorian, whose goal-scoring prowess since he's come to the club has been amazing. Club record, equaling club record fee for £15 million. And it's been money well spent from that point of view. But this is Crystal Palace on the ball with Saha in towards Benteke. No foul there by Ben Mee. And the back four really have to have a better game, I think, in the second half. But Burnley still, however, got to play with a bit more urgency than what they've done so far, I think, in the game so far. And I think the midfielders need to get the ball by the horns. And they really need to get at Crystal Palace a bit and give them the needle a little bit and force them into sort of a false sense of security. Well, we saw 5 in the first half. Let's hope Burnley can strike a couple without replying in the second half and win 4-3. And Dwight McNeil has won a free kick early doors there. Clear foul there by Jordan Ayew on him and a free kick to the Clarets. Now, can Burnley get back level and get back to 3-3? Fourth game in a row in all competitions. They've had to play London sides. They played before Tottenham in a League Cup tie, which they lost 1-0. And, of course, which was a goal from Lucas Moore decided. They beat Brentford 3-1 and then played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in the game before this one. And drew 1-1, and now they're trailing 3-2 in this one as the free kick comes in from McNeil, comes to the edge of the area. Good shot coming in just wide with the left foot. It was Johan Gudmundsson with the effort there. It's a good effort. And just wide of the target, although I think Vincent Guaita would have had that covered in any case, but it was a terrific effort from Gudmundsson. Hit it first time, but I think, yes, Guaita would have had the near post covered, the right-hand near post. diving away to his left, he had that quite easily covered, I think, and it would have been a very routine save for the Crystal Palace goalkeeper. But so it remains 3-2 for Palace. We've had 2 minutes in the second half, but Burnley making their intentions very clear at the start of the second half. And Dwight McNeil, who's had a decent match so far, doesn't deserve to be on the losing side by any means at all. It's a class act, Dwight McNeil. I do think he's a player that's very underrated. He's made the most tackles for Burnley so far this season. He had 33 going into the game today. We'll just have to see how this one goes in the second half. No changes from either side, remember, as now day turns to dusk. And we've got the floodlights on now, full cry. This is what Burnley should be like for opposition's players and supporters. Very terrifying for the away team. And Burnley have won themselves, I think it's a throw-in. I might be wrong. It's hard to say from up here whether that was a corner or a corner. It looks as if it's a throw-in. Or is it? No, it looks like McNeil's going over there. I think, is he going to take the throw? It looks like a throw. Yeah, it's going to be a long throw, in fact, for Burnley. And, the big men haven't made their way forward, so that should have been a clue. Throw wasn't very good, however, and the ball hooked away. But Ben Mee will read that pretty well. Got a bit fortunate there. Westwood now takes possession. Getting out to Gudmundsson on the far side. Brownhill is there on the overlap. Brownhill now has to cut back inside. Spent 2 seasons at the club now. Brownhill, ball played in there. Corner on the volley! Oh, what a fantastic goal! Super volley! That's 5 goals for Burnley this season for Maxwell Cornet! The man is just dynamite! And he hit that with superb dynamic. He was a dynamic left foot volley. One of the goals of the season. The cross from Gudmundsson. It looks as if the chance had gone. And he was onside. And he hits this with such dynamite. Maxwell has done it. Maxwell Cornet. Burnley 3. Crystal Palace 3. What a dream start to the second half. Bang. Maxwell Cornet with the goal, in my opinion, of the season. Left foot. Have some of that, Guaita. Burnley 3. Crystal Palace 3. Wow! Have some of that, Palace, says Maxwell Cornet. He was quiet as a mouse first half. On my word, he's come out all guns blazing. And Burnley are back in it. 3-3. Maxwell Cornet. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, you could not write the script. Maxwell Cornet. Oh, Turf Moor is a mess with noise now. 6-goal thriller. Burnley back in business at 3 apiece. What a topsy-turvy game we've got here. I'll tell you what, you guys listening to this delayed commentary this Saturday night will be absolutely engrossed in this, I'm telling you, because I'm certainly here watching it here at the Turf. It's been a 6-goal thriller at, so far that we will not forget in a hurry. If it gets the Clarets a point, even doesn't take them out the bottom 3, it still will stretch their unbeaten record to 4 unbeaten, which is a major positive. But I tell you what, if they could go on, dare they go on and score a 4th goal? They might be a little bit patient now, maybe just shut up shot a little bit now and just make Crystal Palace have a little bit more possession, maybe tie them out a touch, and maybe hit strike again later on in the piece. But a dream start to the Clarets in the second half, and Sean Dyche, well, he must have had a few choice words. I think Burnley have come out on testosterone, quite frankly, because they've really battled well in this second half. They're going to win the ball here in midfield with Gudmundsson. Oh, and Westwood just couldn't quite get a good toe on that. But Burnley have hooked it forward. Wood won't get there. Guaita should get there on the edge of the penalty area and kicks away left-footed over the halfway line. Tarkowski heads it back over the halfway line into the Palace half. Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3 on the TC Hub. And this game has really caught fire yet again. We had 5 goals in the first half. We've had 1 already in the second. It's Burnley 3, Palace 3. And what more drama is there to come? Here's Sahad, twinkle toes towards the area. Cross was half stopped. And here goes Gudmundsson, getting it down there towards Wood, who's onside again. If he can get there first, he can. He was being held there, surely he was being held there. And Simon Hooper, for whatever reason, decided it was not a free kick. And I've got to say, I think he got that one wrong. Wood was definitely being pushed over, and then Palace with a cheap free kick. And Simon Hooper is the villain of the piece here yet again. And I think Burnley have the case here. Ball foot forward. Woody's onside. There's no doubt about it. That's a wrestling match there. Anderson has got more than a fistful of shirt with me. And how has the referee, Simon Hooper, not spotted that? Disgusting, really, from the Dane, who's got away with murder. Absolute murder for me there. And I don't think Mr. Hooper is making himself very popular amongst the home supporters. And of course, of course, under the rules that VAR can't check it, unless it was a denial of the clear goal scoring opportunity. I'm not certain, but well, we've had 53 minutes here, and I think Anderson, tell you what, if the free kick had been given, it would have been a big decision for the referee to make. And of course, there's also, you've got to add into the mix, Wood would have been clean through on goal as well. And there would have been a massive decision for him to make. Was he the last man or not? Here's Jordan Ayew now into the area. Ayew shoots, but he shoots wide into the Palace fans. And a goal kick has been awarded, I think, although Ayew wants a corner. I don't think he's going to get it, if truth be told. Definitely onside as the ball was played. Pope, I think, would have had the near post covered anyway. But, yeah, that's an interesting one. Look, fistful of shirt. And Wood, it knocked Wood well off balance there for me. I tell you what, if that free kick had been given, he was given a corner there for some inexplicable reason. I don't quite understand why that's the case. I didn't think it deflected at all, but there you go. It's just the way it goes sometimes in this crazy game. So we've had 54 minutes. In fact, the corner didn't come to much, and it's headed away. Now Palace have got a free kick in the middle. And it's hair and scaring stuff here at Turf Moor now as we now go up towards the 10-minute mark of the second half. It's 3-3. Ball crossed into the area. Palace now trying to throw their bodies about to try and con the referee to give it a penalty. I don't think Simon Hooper's going to be moved, but that decision not to give Burnley a free kick when Wood was going through, well, there's one or two unsavoury. He's not winning one or two fans with Burnley fans today, I'm afraid, Mr. Hooper, because, well, that looked a clear foul, and we're going to see Eze, the former QPR man, who was a real. Looks like we're going to see Eze. I could be wrong, but, you know, Palace players do look the same. But which, for identification purposes, is very hard to tell. But I'll try and give you the identification of it. Looks like Eze is going to come on. The former QPR youngster who season before last really set the championship alight with some terrific efforts that forced Roy Hodgson to pay something in the region of about £25 million for his services. And he had he could have done with him last season because Palace really struggled without his industry on the field. And he's a terrific young talent. He's a terrific player. And Palace about to make that first change. Burnley yet to make one yet. They've still got on the bench, as I say, Henderson, Bardsley, Cork, Collins, Peters, Ridwell, Long, Lennon, and Jay Rodriguez, who got the equaliser at Chelsea last week, a week before last, I should say. Burnley in possession. Wood can't thread the ball through. And Burnley now going to give possession back to Palace. The win probability, well, Palace shading at 30%, Burnley 26%. I don't agree with that. The draw's a 44% favourable chance. Burnley are in. And another flashpoint there. There's a Burnley player went tumbling. They think he's taking a dive. I'm not surprised Wolf Sahar's got in there. He's sensibly staying away from it all. There's another word out of line, and he could be off the field. Let's see what happened here. It was Josh Brownhill involved and Tarkowski involved. Benteke's elbow Tarkowski. It's a fairly an elbow, but it's a free kick to Burnley. And I don't understand why Benteke's got any calls to complain. There's absolutely no need for him to complain. Jordan Ayew is going to come off, incidentally, for Palace. He's the man being withdrawn, and the player coming on, in fact, is Elise, not Eze. So Elise's come on. They do look very similar in terms of dreadlock hairstyles and the like, so it's very hard to distinguish one from the other. That's no disrespect to them. It's just a fact of life. That's a commentator's lot, really. Westwood playing the ball over the top. Ben Mears ambled forward here from the back. McNeil now, left-hand side, takes on his man and whips the ball in. It's not a good ball. Comes to the edge of the area. Shot comes in, and it's a good save from Wayeta Darren away, just fractionally to his right to deny Gudmundsson's left-footed shot from the edge of the penalty box. And if that had gone in, Burnley would have been in front again, this time for the second time. It came to him a little bit quickly, maybe, and the shot was hit a bit more timid than I think he would have liked, Johan. Ball not forward towards Maxwell Cornet. He's really exploding into life in this game. Here comes the Burnley. Oh, and a good effort and a good cross coming in towards Wood. Quaita, quick as bright as a button, came out and cut out that free ball. Otherwise, I think Wood might have just been on the end of it, and Burnley might have been 4-3 into the lead. But it's 3-3 still. And Burnley now, I think, of the team in the attendance here. I disagree a little bit with the win predictor there a little bit. How do computers tell who's going to win this game? I think that's a lot of mumbo jumbo, really. I think viewers do not need to be educated on statistics in football and just be allowed to listen or watch the game. Anyway, yellow card's going to be issued. Simon Hooper's going to book Benteke, and he should have been booked a few moments ago, if I'm being perfectly honest. He's fouled Tarkowski yet again. Now then, what happened here? Look at that. I mean, I'm sorry. That should be a red card. He's looking at him. I think he's smacked him. He's absolutely smacked him. You can't get away with that. He's lucky that it's a yellow card and not red. And I think the Burnley players wanted upgrading to a red card. I think they wanted to have a look at the screen. And I have to say, Benteke and Saha are running risk here, and they've got to keep their mouth shut at this point in time. And this is actually playing into Burnley's hands while all this is going on, because Ben Mee now takes the free kick. Palace are rattled. Palace are absolutely, utterly rattled here, because what this has done now is really forced them onto the back foot, and this really now gives Burnley the impotence now to really carry on now. Ball out of play on the near side. We've now had an hour gone here on the TC Hub. Delayed commentary to come tomorrow. We've got live football tomorrow afternoon with Ryan Francis. Tottenham against Leeds from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That should be a feisty encounter between two of English football's great names. And we'll be on the air around about 4:20 tomorrow afternoon on all TC Hub and participating TC Hub YouTube channels, including JB Sports, J.Football, Storm FM, and TC Hub 2, as well as the usual other social media sites, Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. Here's Maxwell Cornet. Lost his balance, played the ball back, couldn't find anybody there, and he had to play the ball back blind side. And here's Elise now for Crystal Palace, number 7 he wears. And here's Will Saha again. Very tricky customer, Will Saha. Got the gloves on as well. Conor Gallagher now gone to the right-hand channel. Deep across this time. Saha with a poor chest control, and he's getting a bit frustrated out there, Wilfried Saha. It has to be said. 61 gone. Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3. And, well, I'm sorry to say, but I think Benteke was looking at him there. And this was an earlier chance here for Burnley. Cross came in. That was towards one, and he would have got there on the volley. Believe it or believe it not. But the way this game is going, folks, hang on to your hats. Delayed commentary here of Burnley against Crystal Palace on the TC Hub 2, JB Sports, Storm FM, and J.Football, and we're also on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch, folks. And bemused Patrick Vieira here knows his team have been in a real battle royale today. And it's been a super game of football. If you're a neutral listening to this, you would have been encapsulated in this commentary, I'm telling you. This is surely going to be at the top of the list for match of the day later on, whatever the score. The shot comes in from Elise, hits the defender. Corner to Palace this time. Excuse me. So here comes Milivojevic, the Serb. Take the corner. It's going to be from the right-hand side, near side. It's the fourth corner, incidentally, that Palace have had in the contest. Burnley have only had one, but they've scored from it. Here's Milivojevic, right-footed, into the penalty area. Burnley this time, again, making a bit of a dog's dinner of clearing it. And then I thought Brownhill's shirt was being tugged. The referee didn't see anything wrong with that. Milivojevic to reload. Out comes Pope. Not a decisive enough punch, and it's hit the bar. Shot back in from Sahar on the edge of the penalty area. He's hit that true on the volley, and somehow that ball was smashed off the centre of the crossbar and over into the cricket field stand or the Barnfield stand. Not a good punch away from Pope, and Sahar's hit this terrifically well. And I tell you what, that is not good goalkeeping for me. Not enough purchase on the punch. That's a terrific volley. Pope's beaten a mile, and off the centre of the bar and away for a goal kick. Unless he got a finger on it. That is as slight as the fingertips. I didn't think that was a corner at all. So it looks as if it's going to be a fifth corner for Palace. I'm certain, having looked at that replay, that was a goal kick. So it's a corner to Palace. 3-3 still. Both teams wasting one or two good opportunities to go in front again. Milivojevic down. Pope stayed at home this time. Away by Goodmanson on the second ball. And Palace reload, but Burnley this time, a bit more stouter in the defending. Now then, McNeil. Taylor now just got to put his foot through it on the left-hand side, which he does. Gets a bit more distance now. Burnley just need to calm things down a little bit. They're just having one or two dicey periods. Burnley's turned out to be a little bit worried. Wood now holds the ball up. And he's done well to get the team a throw. And a bit of respite too, by the way. Well, Maxwell Cordate's volley has put the cat amongst the pigeons early doors of the second half. It's been a feisty game. There's no doubt about that. And it still remains 3-3. But there's still time left, 25 minutes plus any injury time for a possible winning goal here at the turf. And what a pleasure it was to commentate on a marvellous bowling goal from McCorney. Charlie Taylor just feeling the effects of a little bit of an earlier challenge. Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3. And we've played exactly 65 minutes now on this delayed commentary stream. 3 apiece. And Corday goes down, free kick. Anderson penalised this time. And showing the referee's got to try and take a bit more stronger action now. Really bad challenge there on Anderson. Cornet clearly fouled. Now, Burnley make another set-piece towel and get back in front again for a second time. 3-3 is the score. Dwight McNeil has had a super match so far. I think he's probably on course to be one of the players of the match. Benteke, certainly, you've got to say, is one of the candidates to be that way as well. Just having one or two problems here with the stream. That's the foul there on Maxwell Cornet. Just having another look again. So Cornet now is ready. So Dwight McNeil, as I say, is going to take the free kick. We've had 65.5 minutes. Can McNeil now send this free kick into the danger zone once again? Can Burnley get in front for a second time then? Just a little delay on the free kick. Anyway, here comes McNeil then. Sends it into the danger zone, but it's too far. It's a poor free kick. And at the end of it all, it's a bit of an anticlimax, really. With 67 gone, it's Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3. Well, there's a Burnley official over there who's not a very good ball boy, if truth be told. And it's been really Been a really good game of football now up until this point. So here we go now, far side. And Palace have it. And away by Ben Mee. Ball still in play. As the ball now is spreading back once more for Palace. And here come Palace again. Here's Elise, number 7. On the left-hand side. Plays a 1-2 there with, I think it's Gallagher, I think. Or Miller, which it was. Zaha to do a little bit of defensive work on halfway. Gets it back to Anderson. Anderson, a long ball over towards the far side. But Lowton read the intentions very clear. Plays a 1-2 with Gudmundsson, who messed a lot of Lowton, in fairness. Here's Lowton, excuse me that. Still got a little bit of a cold and all that. But my throat is just standing up okay. 68 gone now on the TCR. Ball played in towards Benteke, who's on a hat-trick, of course. Ball played in towards Elise, but well read brilliantly by Taylor. And here comes the left-hand side in tandem. It's on towards Taylor from McNeil. McNeil gets it down the line to Cornet, who stayed on side. Cornet holds it up and takes on the defender, and he goes down again. Referee wasn't interested, but however, Burnley do have possession. With Charlie Taylor from Dwight McNeil. Back to Dwight McNeil again, left-hand side. We'll have to go backwards, I'm afraid, though, to Ben Mee. But Burnley patiently building this up rather nicely, it's got to be said. Gudmundsson to Lowton. Now they'll try and work something possibly down the right-hand side. Gudmundsson just gets the ball there. Otherwise, it could have spelt danger if he'd given that away. Taylor has it on the left-hand side. Can Burnley work something very special here? He needed something special from Maxwell Cornet to force an equalising goal. One of the goals of the month so far. Sure, that has to be a contender for goal of the month, if not the season. Ball out towards the far side. Lowton has it. Has to go back. Uses Westwood. That's a poor ball from Westwood. And now this could spell trouble for Burnley. Westwood has to take the foul. And I think he'll have to take a yellow card for it as well, I'm afraid. Indeed he does. Simon Hooper quickly out with a yellow card. And he had to stop Mitchell going forward. He's a pacey player, young Mitchell. And I think he had to do everything in his powers just to stop him there. So Westwood has now got a yellow card against his name. And it's still Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3 as we come up towards the final 20 minutes of this epic encounter. And it's not been dull. And that means Westwood is also ruled out of Burnley's next game as well. That's his 5th booking of the season. So Burnley will have to make a couple of enforced changes for their next game. Another important game next time out. Burnley 3, Palace 3. Ball back towards Elise now. And the ball blocked in there. Knocked away by Tarkowski, not very far. And then the shot by Joe Ward. Right-footed, well wide of target. But Burnley again defending on their nerves a little bit here. Joe Ward, who isn't the best striker of a ball, really. They'll be thankful that it went to him rather than Will Zaha, for example, who hit the crossbar. There's Eze. Looks like Rude Hullet with the dreadlocks, doesn't he? Coolest personified. Of course, there's Edouard as well, the former Celtic man who really hit the ground running with a brace against Tottenham on his debut back in September. As Pope kicks away right-footed. Flick on again towards Chris Wood. Bell yet to make a substitution yet. Matty Vidra might come on at some point and cause a little bit of havoc. Maybe somebody like Chris Wood could come off. Maybe Corday and Vidra up front, maybe. Just a couple of fresh legs possibly up front that could cause Palace 1 or 2 new problems. And we know what Vidra is capable of on his day. Cornet helping the Palace players up there. It's a free kick to Palace, how we found him. He was a bit quiet as a mouse in the first half, Maxwell Cornet, but he's certainly been lively in the second half. A beautiful left-footed volley that just went whizzing past Vincent Guaita in the goal. In fact, it was 3 minutes into the second half when that goal was scored, and that's really put Burnley right in this with a chance here. Guaita's kick headed away once more. It was a free kick by Guaita, incidentally, not a goal kick. Meaning to challenge the next one, but Elise plays that ball over the top, and Pope out quickly before Will Zaha could get in there. Here's Charlie Taylor. Just about got away with it there. Just about fouled Dwight McNeil. McNeil now having to go backwards. Palace crowding him out a little bit, and it forces Taylor now to put it away up the field. Left-footed. Flick on by Wood. Can't find Cornet. Zaha is taking a little bit of a... Coetti is now a bit deeper now in the midfield player. No foul on the halfway line. Gudmundson's in possession for Burnley. And the ball out of play. Is it? Yes, it is. It will be a Palace throw now. And, we're not seeing any sign of a substitution, so it's still the same 11 that started. I'm not seeing too much activity on that Burnley bench, which is a little bit concerning. That's on my box being viewed. Corner goes down. No foul there. Free telling both defender and attacker to get up, incidentally. I can't see anything there. Free kick given against Ashley Westwood. He's got to be careful. He's already been booked, and of course, Burnley haven't had a red card since Robbie Brady was sent off in January 2019 at Huddersfield Town. A game I remember covering as well, and that was also for a second yellow. I think it might have been for a red, actually. We were arguing to the referee. But I think I remember him, coming on as a substitute in that game as well. Because Dwight McNeil started on the left that day for the Clarets. Burnley winning that game, incidentally, by 2-1. This is Will Zaha now for Crystal Palace. Back to Zaha again. Oh, this could be trouble. Oh, that's a poor ball. And Westwood read it like a book. It was easy for him to read it like a book, really. Here's Gudmundsson now. Gudmundsson has to get it back there, and it has to be hoisted along. I'm surprised Gudmundsson didn't try that, actually. Held it up, and it was a bit of a dangerous play halfway inside your own half. Still no change yet from Burnley. Gudmundsson is taking one for the team, so to speak. Ball forward hitting me on the face, and Coetti playing the ball forward, and he gets in there. It's him Bosch on the face. So one for the team, so to speak, there, Johan Gudmundsson. But he's all right. Sean Dyche and Ian Wild and Steve Stone, the three-man committee on the Burnley management staff, asking for more from their players. There is a substitution in the offing I can see there on the far side. I'm not sure who it might be, but I'm going to hazard a guess at Matty Vydra, maybe. Maybe an extra dimension up front could cause trouble. It's an hazarded guess. Could be Jay Rodriguez even, but we'll see who he might bring on. But I think it's going to be an attacking change. Because with the game in the ascendancy, why would you want to try and use the get a defensive change? Zaha's been penalised. He's furious. And he thinks he's got the ball, but he's got to be careful. He's already been booked, remember, for a flashpoint in the first half. And if he's not careful, he will get the red one. Look at that. He's clearly got a fistful of shirt, and he's knocked the player off balance. He hasn't got a case to answer as well for Zaha. And Tarkowski having a few words with him now. Been trying to wind him up a little bit. Zaha needs to just shut up, stop talking to the referee. And if he doesn't stop doing that, he's going to be sent off. Simple as. Quarter of an hour to play. Burnley are preparing the change, but it's going to be a free kick before that. Can Burnley get their noses in front? Here comes the free kick into the area. Ben Mees attacking it towards the near post. And it's hooked away by Palace somehow. Burnley about to make a change. Still they're waiting to do that. Here's McNeil. That's a decent looking ball. And header won by, it was a good header there. I think it might have been Brownhill by the penalty spot. Or it was Tarkowski even. Tarkowski, in fact, got the header in. And it was a terrific save, actually, for Guaita. He had to dive a little bit to his left-hand side. And he caught the ball and gathered it well and didn't drop it at all. That was good goalkeeping, actually, from Guaita. This is Gallagher at the other end now. Bounding towards the other end here for Crystal Palace. Barely have to get men back, and they do so. And comfortably, Ben Mee now back to Nick Pope. Good kick away by Pope. Should reach halfway, or just reach a bit short of halfway. And the ball out for a Crystal Palace throw-in, 20 yards inside the Burnley half. But this is the same again. Oh, there may have been a potential there of a handball maybe against Benteke. Although, to be fair to Benteke, I don't think he knew too much greatly about it. So we've got about 14 minutes to play the second half here. Delayed commentary of Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3 on the TC Hub. JB Sports, JDAT Football, Storm FM, and TCM2, and we're on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. Oh, unlucky Ashley Westwood played the ball through, but the referee is bolted again for a foul. Free kick. 2 players on the deck. Westwood one, Brownhill the other. And Burnley are getting... I think Burnley now are in the ascendancy. I think this is what happened. This was the Brownhill one. That's fair enough. It's a shoulder charge. No impact. No, there was an advantage there. I think it was a foul, but the advantage was applied. But when the referee realised there was no advantage, he actually did well there to bring it back. So credit to Simon Hooper there for bringing the play back. That was good refereeing. One has got to confess. Can Burnley snatch a late goal here? Ball into the penalty area. Still Burnley not made a change. They are preparing one. And they're still waiting. I think they are preparing to bring one on. I don't think it's going to be Matty Vidra. Looks a taller player than Vidra because he's a small sort of workhorse. Taylor goes down. Burnley have got a free kick again. They're winning a flurry of good free kicks here, Burnley. And this is a dangerous one on the left-hand side. Elise he's not happy. Unsurprisingly, but that's a foul from behind. That's a free kick. So Charlie Taylor's done really well there on the left-hand side for Burnley. 12 minutes to play. Can Burnley force another goal? Well, they come together on the set plays today. There's a winner in this for one of these two sides. Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3. They don't do no games here between these two sides. I remember 2 games that finished 3-2, and there were last-minute winners as well. One more famously scored by Ashley Barnes. Here's Dwight McNeil into the penalty area. Header wide and over. Goal kick given. I think it might have been Ben Mee with a header, in fact. Ben Mee got the header in. Free kick again. Another good free kick from Dwight McNeil, right on the money. Ben Mee just couldn't keep it down. It's Jay Rodriguez who's coming on for Burnley, the man who got the equaliser at Chelsea 2 weeks ago. He's replaced the battery around Chris Wood, and Wood comes off, and he's done well today. Chris Wood scored a good scored the second goal. And, oh, what a nice gesture that is from Chris Wood. Throws it to a supporter who's pleased with punch that he or she has got Chris Wood's shirt. We weren't sure who the gender was because it was back to the camera. The person's back was to the camera, but nice little silver there to take. Free kick to Palace to the despair of Charlie Taylor. Now it's Burnley's turn to defend. Elise foul this time. Free kick given the same 2 players, but in reverse this time. Although that looked a bit of a dodgy decision, and then Elise just influencing the referee to give it, the assistant to give it. And I don't think he should be doing that, to be fair. That's, in my book, gamesmanship, if you see what I mean. Free kick now. And Elise is going to take it now. Right-footed or left-footed into the area. Worrying moments for Burnley. They haven't looked good on set pieces this afternoon. Can they defend this one better? They can. Cornet should win the next one, and he does. And I back myself to say that as well. And that's a foul, surely on Jay Rodriguez. Or on Ashley Westwood, I should say. And what's he giving here? Hard to tell what this referee's giving it. He's giving it a Palace throw-in. Well, for me, that's a foul. He's pushed him out the way. Ward's pushed him out the way. That's a foul. Anyway, off comes, can't tell who that is. 23 is, Conor Garrick is going off for Crystal Palace. And we're going to see Jeff Schrupp, the former Leicester City player, come on for Palace. So they've made their second substitution of the afternoon. As the temperature now up in the stand is a very chilly one, about 9 degrees. Feels like 2 degrees up here, up in sunny Burnley. But the temperatures on the pitch is still white hot. It's about 1,000,000 degrees Celsius out in the field. Both teams have put their heart and soul into this game. And there's been 1 or 2 real flashpoints into this game. So, and I don't think the drama's over yet by any means, but we'll wait and see. We've had 81.5 minutes of this second of this game, and it's still 3 apiece. Cornet with the last goal a few moments at the start of the second half. And here comes Will Sahar. He's fellow Ivorian. Gets it out to the far side. Here's Jeffrey Schrupp. Schrupp now back on the edge of the area. Schrupp comes in, deflected. It's a corner to Palace. It was Milivojevic, the skipper, hit it right-footed. Came off the defender on the edge of the area. And behind into the cricket field stand for a corner kick to Crystal Palace. Can't tell who it came off. Didn't give the right. They don't show the right replay. So Olise is going to take it again, left-footed from the right-hand side. Ball looks suspiciously not as if it's on the quadrant at all, but it didn't really reach the first man. Header wasn't away with any purchase, and Westwood couldn't get it out from any danger. But Burnley now trying to win as many headers as they can here and try and win second, third, or fourth balls. But it's Palace in possession on the right-hand side. Olise now. Oh, he turned nicely there for McNeil. He's now trying to get something going for Palace on the left-hand side. Now Twinkle Toes, Will Saha. Just lost the ball for a second, but he got it back again. And the ball played in there towards the penalty area. Ball knocked towards Olise now, right-hand side, inside the area. Burnley have got numbers back. Ward with a cross in there. Headed away there by Burnley. Cornet doing a bit of defending now. Burnley just hanging on a little bit here. Rodriguez, bit up and under for him. Couldn't tell where the ball was. Palace in possession again. This is a bit of a worrying moment. This is Jeffrey Schlupp, the substitute, playing it in there. But again, good bit of defending. It's Tarkowski this time. McNeil has it on the left-hand side. McNeil goes down. Referee poised to give the free kick to Burnley. Good decision from the referee. And what it also does do, as a result, is give Burnley, again, a little bit more respite. And it remains Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3. Maxwell Cornet is going to come off. And Steve Stone there just giving Matty Vidra just some last minute instructions, of course. Well, he had a good second half, Maxwell Cornet. A bit quiet as a mouse first half, but that terrific volley really lit up this game. I think it's worth another look on replay. Little flick on and bosh, left foot, bang, into the net. That is a super goal. He doesn't score the tap-ins. He doesn't score tap-ins, Maxwell Cornet. He scores volley goals. Or long-range 35-yard efforts. But Matty Vidra's got a goal or two this season in him. Can him and Jay Rodriguez do what they did at Stamford Bridge 2 weeks ago, and this time not draw the game, but win the game? Free kick taken by Pope, and it's high and long. Looking towards Jay Rodriguez. Ball knocked away once more. Can Taylor reach it? Yes, he can. Can't find McNeil, who can't reach it. And it's a throw-in to Crystal Palace on the edge of their own 18-yard box on their left-hand side. Or right-hand side, I should say. So 3 apiece. It is, but tell you what, Maxwell Cornet as well, that really has lit up the game for me. Some of the goals scored were scrappy goals from set plays and poor defending from both sides, but Maxwell's goal, you can't legislate for that. And I think he's got to be a contender for man of the match. And I'm going to make that decision. There's a few people that are in with a shout. But here's Westwood now trying to knock the ball forward, looking towards Vidra. Westwood wins the ball back. Goodmanson has it now Robert Lawton, has it on that right-hand side. And Goodmanson round to Westwood, and Westwood plays a long ball in there, looking for Vidra. McNeil's in the area, he goes down. The referee doesn't want to know. I think there may have been a case there for a penalty. I'd like to see that again. At full time, the referee stopped it for a Palace free kick, or presumably a Palace free kick. Well, was this a penalty? Ward involved. Well, I think there might have been a case, but I don't think VAR are going to check it. And Palace will get the free kick. And Luka Milivojevic is going off. He goes off on the near side. Salutes the Crystal Palace fans. And on in his place comes Edouard, the former Celtic striker. 4 minutes to go. Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3. If you joined the stream towards the end here on the TC with JB Sports, J.Football, Storm FM, Periscope, Twitter and Twitch, and of course TC Hub 2. Don't forget Melon is our streaming app, www.melonstreamingapp.com. And we've got our Twitter feed as well if you want to check that out and follow us on Twitter. Twitter, that's Commentary Line 1. That's Conor Gallagher, who can't do anything about what's going out on the field at the moment. He's had a terrific week, Conor Gallagher. Could have scored a goal himself today. Played a key role in the England under-21s European Championship qualification success here at Turf Moor just over a week ago. 3-1 they won that night. I think it was a Thursday night. It was about 8 days ago that they beat the Czech Republic 3-1 here. 8,000 were there that night to see a good England team performance. I think they were free up in about half an hour and then just took the foot off the gas a little bit in the second half. It was enough to get him into the England squad and he made his debut against San Marino, which would be a great moment for him. But here's Charlie Taylor now, left-hand side, cross comes in. It's not a particularly good one, but Vidge was there. Looked as if he was being pushed. Brownell hits it, but he hits it straight down the goalkeeper's throat. And at the moment, I have to say, and I'm going to put my heart on the line, I'm going to put myself on the line here, I think Burnley do look the more likely winners of this game. It's got to be said. Right, player of the match. Sponsored by Commentary Services. There are so many contenders I could have picked, like Benteke, Chris Wood, people like that, but I have to say, Maxwell Cornet, just for that volley alone, has scored the goal of the match, and in my opinion, deserves the player of the match. So it's going to be Maxwell Cornet, who's my player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services. Maxwell Cornet gets the player of the match award. So that is my decision. There will be a few Crystal Palace fans listening that will think, well, why hasn't Benteke got it? Well, he didn't score a class goal. He didn't score a world-class goal that Maxwell Cornet scored. And you cannot give awards, you cannot give accolades enough to people who are special players like Maxwell Cornet. He's just a boundless runner. Anyway, here's Charlie Taylor. He could have been a contender as well, but he's still making things happen on that left-hand side. And he's yielded a corner here for Burnley. Now, this is where Ashley Westwood really came to prominence early on. If he can get another delivery like the one he set up for Ben Mee, then Burnley could win this game. We're in towards the last minute. Are we going to see leg drama between these two sides again? We saw it in 2015 when Palace won 3-2. We saw it in 2016 when Burnley won 3-2. Who's going to be the winner this time? Westwood's going to send it in. The ball's just on the quadrant. It's Burnley's second corner, incidentally. And it goes towards the area. Oh, and this time Palace defended it better. There's always an expectancy when Westwood delivers on set plays. And Westwood goes in again. Guaita with a fist away. And Burnley still in the ascendancy here. They still think they can nick this result. They're playing really well. And on top of the moment, Vidge is there. The goalkeeper for it. Oh, and it's off the line. It's off the line. Vidge got there first. Guaita must have been way out of his goal there. And the defender saved him there. Westwood and another cross in there. That's a dangerous one, and it's tucked away by Palace. It's desperate Palace defending now. We're inside the last 10 seconds of normal time. Taylor gets it back to Nick Pope. Pope now will hook it long, right foot. Slips as he kicks it there, but he gets good distance. Tarkowski tries to flick it on, and now he has to, well, he's jogging back. Really, he should be running back, because here comes Elise now for Palace. And Ben Mee's got to try and watch him now. Elise tries to shot, and Pope gets it good. But gets his body behind it. 3 added minutes at the end. 3 minutes for a winner to be found. McNeely's through. He was challenged from behind. Elise surely got to be booked. And the referee on cue does that. Oh, what a super game we've had here. It might only yield a point for the clients, but it's 1 point earned. Considering where they were at half-time in this game and the way they've defended in the first half, you've got to say that's a point gained. But they could still get all three. And McNeil is in some considerable pain, and this would be a blow for Burnley. Remember, they've got 2 out for the next game through suspension. This was, I think that might have been the effort that was cleared off the line. Let's see. Well, they cut away from the replay. We didn't get a chance to see the replay play out once again. But on the replay we just saw, that was a good decisive punch by Vincent Guaita in all of that. So we played over a minute of the 3. And I should stress it is a minimum of 3. What a super finish to a super game of football here on the TC Hub. Delayed commentary. Ball played into us, the back post. And that's going to run out of play for a goal kick to Crystal Palace. So they've got about 90 seconds. I'll make it, plus any more additional time that Mr. Hooper may well want to add on in his own discretion. And they've gone short here. Vidge almost cottoned onto that, and it's forced Palace to play a little bit sideways, which won't help their attacking players much. Ball had a play for a throw into Burnley. Also went down very easily for my money. Not been impressed with his theatrics today, I have to say. Wilfried Zaha. I'd rather talk about the way he plays the game rather than complain. And he's been moaning and groaning. He knows what he's going to get. He's experienced enough player to know that when you go to Burnley, you're not going to be in for an easy ride. I think sometimes he forgets that and lets his emotions run over his talent, which undoubtedly he's got. There's no doubt about that. But here's Brownell hooking it in there. It might come for Vidra. Vidra shot! And Vidra's put it wide! I thought he'd won it. I was about to announce the winning goal, and Matty Vidra puts the shot wide. And I think Guayeta's getting a pat now. I wonder if he saved it. Let's have a look. Did he save it? He did. It was on target. I thought Vidra had won it there. He got through. He hit it through. Maybe he scuffed it, but the goalkeeper got a save on it. But there's still a corner to come. There's still a corner to come to the Burnley bench there. Oh, my goodness. Right, Westwood with the corner. In it goes. It's headed away. The referee checks the watch. Has his whistle to his mouth. And in the end, bolts for the end. But Burnley, I thought they'd won it at the end. Sean Dyche thought he'd won it at the end. I thought they'd won it at the end. But Guaita has saved Palace a point. I think, actually, when you look back at the game as a whole, I think both sides really played their hearts out. And maybe on performance levels deserved a point apiece. It doesn't get Burnley out the bottom three, of course, but at least it stretches there and make the record to 4. Palace's record now goes to 8 games. But Burnley need to be winning these sort of games. They now have lost 2 players for the next game. And that's a bit of a worry, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But a terrific game of football. Well, where do you start with that? Where do you actually start with that, to be perfectly honest? But there you go. Burnley were 1 down early doors for a goal scored by Benteke. Then Burnley got level through Ben Mee from a corner. And then Burnley went in through Chris Wood with a header. That made it 2-1 at that point. And then it went 2-2 when Benteke finished it again. And then Palace went 3-2 up through Gayushi. That was the score at halftime. And then Maxwell Cornet with undoubtedly the game goal of the match to make it 3-3. And Burnley thought they'd won it at the end through Matija Vidra. He got right through, and the goal gaping, and he couldn't take the finish. He couldn't finish it off, and it's ended 3-3. So it means Burnley are going to be without 2 players for the Tottenham game next week on the 28th of November. They're going to be without James Tarkowski and Ashley Westwood for the game there between them and Spurs. And that's going to be a tough game as well. So that's a week tomorrow. They play Tottenham. Wolves play, and then they play Burnley on the 1st. They go to Wolves on the 1st of December. And then a big game away on the Saturday, 4th of December, against Newcastle away. That could be a big game as regards that. Then they play high-flying West Ham on the 12th. And then on the Wednesday, they've got another tough game against Watford as well, too. And then Villa away, Steven Gerrard's Villa away, Everton at home, and United away. So it's a tough old December for Burnley coming right up as well. So you never know. But it's finished here at the Turf. Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3. And you've got to say, maybe a point each was probably a fairest result, but maybe when Sean Dyche looks at it again, it may be 2 points drop. I hope you've enjoyed today's commentary. It's headed 3-3 here. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got Tottenham in action against Leeds United with Ryan Francis. But for me, JB, John Stuttard, on this stream, take care, and we'll see you all soon on the TCM.